1 year don't waka, we still dey carry go. Nobody waka, nobody go solo. Eh, Baba God, you, eh, now you're crazy, you. Ooh. I say 1 year don't waka, we still dey carry go. Nobody waka, nobody go solo. Oh my God. How time flies. No. Pinch me. Somebody pinch me. Bite me. Guys, it is 1 year already. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, my darling farms, my sweethearts, my chocolates. 1 year ago, we carried our legs, our properties, our children, everything, and left Nigeria all the way in Africa. Took a 19-hour flight to a whole different place, different country, different continent, different everything, and started again, as they call it, as they put it, and started all over again in a new country. Oh my God. Yes, July of 2023 was when we left Nigeria and came to Canada, and look at us. We are 1 year already here. I give God the glory. And as I give God the glory, I should come and give you the gist. Not be glory I go give you. Now gist I go give you. So I'm going to be discussing everything that has happened so far, the journey so far, pains, gains, regrets, challenges, everything, and where we are and why we are where we are. So before we get into this whole juicy gist, if you're new here, you are seeing this a beautiful Omalicha face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up. Drop all your comments down in the comment section and stay glued because we have so much more coming your way. All right, so let's begin. I didn't know that I was going to end up in Canada. When we were little, my dad used to work at this place he used to work at, and he was in a position where they used to send him all over the country, all over the world for trainings, to get trainings and to train people too, right? And one of the places that my dad came to was Canada. In fact, he used to come to, not came to. He used to come to Canada to take trainings for his work and, you know, spend some time. And at a point, my dad is also a very, very intelligent man. So his contribution to his company was very invaluable. And at a point, they wanted him to move to Canada permanently. Then when Canada was Nadaka, you know, before, it is recently that Canada was started Canadaing. Before, Canada was Nakada, Wakanda. What is it? Yeah?
Even though you're shooting, can we go outside?
No. The sun is much. Yeah, don't go out. You can't play now in the evening when the sun is down.
Okay.
Me choose her. Then, when the place was hills and deserts, people have not even discovered Canada. Our fathers then, our uncles then, Uncle Livinus, Uncle Romanus, Uncle Cletus them, they were running to US. Nobody had discovered Canada. Canada was begging for people to come. They would even give you free land. Please bring your family and come. We will give you a job. We will give you everything. My father got the opportunity to come to Canada, and he refused flat. They kept on forcing him, pressuring him. My father is a typical Igbo man. NEZE, Chike, he refused to relocate to Canada. He said he wants to be close home. He wants to be at home in Nigeria, where his umbilical cord was buried. So that's my first question for you, borders on relocation.
Okay.
Back then in the 90s, you had the opportunity to relocate to Canada on a platter of gold, and you repeatedly turned it down, okay?
Yeah.
Now, considering the situation of the country, do you, by any chance, regret your decision not to move your family abroad? Do you think that your children would have had better opportunities being raised abroad? And if you could turn back the hands of time, would you have made a different decision?
Thank you very much for that question. I turned down the offer to stay back in Canada, and the reason I gave was that it was too late in my age to stay out of my country. That I had only Junior and you.
My other brother.
I was still a very young person. Professor Bennett did everything to convince me to stay back, and I told him I would. Even after leaving Canada, he continued calling me that if I had changed my mind, I would call him, and he would arrange for me and my family to relocate. The issue of whether it was regrettable or it is regrettable that I didn't relocate, I have no regret whatsoever. And notwithstanding the challenges we are facing in Nigeria, I prefer to stay here to staying out there when I will be a stranger. You see, when people deceive themselves about the good and their manner out there, I'm not one of them. Bring up your children there. I want them to come back. You're a liar.
They wouldn't. Many of them wouldn't.
And then before you know it, you lose a generation of people in your family. That's why I have no regret whatsoever. And besides Canada, I traveled to so many other places. I refused to stay. The moment my visa was up, I will leave that night. And I will do the same thing today if I have opportunity. Thank you.
So, my father came back to Nigeria and continued working with the institution in Nigeria. My father-in-law has similar stories. See, me and this my husband, we are destined to be. We are from very similar backgrounds. My father-in-law's own was not just coming for training. My father-in-law was based abroad until he was about, how old was he? 50 or so. He schooled here. He was a medical doctor. He read medicine in Germany, in German, right? Just imagine you, English being your first language. You traveled to Germany, studied and mastered the language so well that you studied a course as difficult as medicine in German. That's how hot and intelligent my father-in-law was. And he was doing well practicing medicine in Germany, going to the US, UK, traveling around the world. When he decided that he wants to go back to where they buried his umbilical cord, that cord, you must go back there. A typical Igbo man always wants to be home. A typical real Nwafọ Nze chief wants to be home. So my father-in-law also left everything and relocated back to Nigeria. So my husband and I both had parents that had really given us this indoctrination that stay back home. Everything is back home. The gold is back home. You don't need to live abroad. So my husband and I also grew up with that mentality, that mindset. So even when we're getting married, the first 5, 6, 7 years of our marriage, we never contemplated abroad. Even when my husband's colleagues then were living in their drones, traveling abroad, it was strange to my husband. Why are these people going? I myself, despite the opportunities that came, I was like, travel abroad, to live abroad. Why? Both of us were not abroad people. We were raised by parents that believed that stay back in Nigeria. But when Nigeria started Nigeriaing, how we both changed our minds and decided to come abroad. That's a story that I have told before. Go and watch the videos. But eventually, we did come abroad. And look at us. It's 1 year in Canada. We resigned from our very, very good jobs, sold everything, gave everything away, and came here to start afresh. When it comes to relocating in your 30s and 40s, especially when you were a bit established back in your home, if we chose to stay back home, the money that we used to relocate, we will use it to buy houses in Abuja. If we had chosen to stay back at home, it would have been a lot comfortable. So there have been several arguments, especially when you are relocating at your later years. But please, am I later years? Please, I'm still a baby girl. Do not call me later. Okay, you get my point. When you are relocating in your 30s and 40s, especially when you were doing well back home, you had good, very, very good 6 or 7 figure paying jobs, and you leave and come. There have been several arguments. Should you? Is it a stupid decision? Is it a good decision? Is it a wise decision? For me, I think it is a personal decision. Life is a personal journey, and happiness and fulfillment are personal subjects, are subjective to one. What might mean fulfillment to you might not be to me. What might mean happiness, purpose to you, destiny to you might be different from the next person. So I do not believe in a one-shoe-fits-all when it comes to analyzing relocation. Everybody has their purpose. Some people will come abroad and it will be the worst decision of their life. They will struggle all through their abroad life and return back to Nigeria in their 60s without much to show for it. Some will come and within 5 years, they are doing so well. You'll be wondering, when did these people come abroad? Everybody's journey, everybody's grace, everybody's destiny is different. And how do you know? By trying. So I do not have any advice for anybody to whether to come or not. No, I believe in the power of purpose, destiny, grace, and favor. So we now, for example, just a very small example, for the fact that my children can breathe, let the poor breathe. Let the citizens breathe. Do not suffocate us. For when I was back in Nigeria, do you know what usually woke me up every morning? My husband. If you have lived with someone that has sinuses, you will understand. By the time Port Harcourt boys are done with their burning of fossil fuels and black suits, my husband, because he wakes up before me to get ready to work, knows he can't breathe. He was breathing with his mouth for years. My husband was breathing with his mouth for years. My sons, oh my God, my children, nebulizing. There was no month of my life that I wasn't in the hospital, either for one respiratory issue or black suits. One even had to get surgery because of respiratory issues. They were all getting nebulized every now and then. Antibiotics was like water in my house. There's no month that the children are done antibiotics. But I told you, ever since we left Nigeria and came to Canada, nobody has ever done all those sinus things, rubbing their nose. Oh, my sons, oh my God, all those things they do that annoys me so much. Nobody has had to be nebulized. Nobody has had to have all those respiratory issues. I'm not saying Canada is heaven, no, but what I'm saying is that even that singular fact for me is good reason. The fact that when I was driving back home at night, when I finished from the bank, late at night, bankers will work late, and I'm driving home by 8 o'clock, 8:30, and my heart is pounding, bam, 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 because I had a colleague that maybe was kidnapped or this, and you are scared, looking above your shoulders. For the fact that I don't have to do that when I'm taking a stroll in my vicinity here by 10 in the night might be reason to me, but might not be reason to you. So it's a self journey. What might mean nothing to one person might mean everything to another person. Relocating, jackpying is a personal journey. Having said that, what are my regrets so far? In as much as it is just 1 year, I don't know whether it is too early for regrets, but I always say that it is never early to say anything. If you are giving a 3 months review or a 3 months update of your experience in a place, it is not too early. You are giving a 3 months review. When you get to 3 years, you give a 3-year review. And when you get to 30 years, you give a 30-year review. So this is my 1-year review. I think my very first regrets in this whole journey so far was not getting a house in Nigeria before coming to Canada. So if you're a newcomer, let me give you the cocoa. If you are an intending newcomer, let me give you the cocoa. Avoid rent faster. When we just came, we're going through rent faster. Okay, let me not put the cart before the horse, right? Before we came, we had a friend here that told us, you don't have to bother, there are so many houses. When you come, you would find one like this, like this, like this. Of course, that friend informed us in good faith. She too didn't know that it was going to turn out to be how it turned out. So we came, landed at an Airbnb, hoping that within 2 days, 3 days, we will get a house. You guys saw how everything went. We didn't get a house in weeks. We will apply on rent faster, going from viewing to viewing. We didn't have a car, then we're using Uber. What do they call it? Yeah, Uber, not Bolt. Every day, $70, $80, $100, going for house viewing. After viewing, they'll ask us, oh yeah, send your credit history, send your previous landlord this, send your offer letter, job this. I will say, Oga, we are newcomers. We don't have all this. We'll even tell you, we have money, see money. We have 1 year rent. We can pay. If you want us to pay 4 months to start, we will pay. Just give us house. Let us enter house. For where? These agents, all those agencies, once you don't have those documents, credit history, they'll just carry your application and fling it. So that's how we're going viewing to viewing, viewing to viewing. After wasting our time, they will give it to a more qualified person. right? So we really went through a lot at that time. Moved from Airbnb to Airbnb. Life would have been so much easier for us if we had gotten a house from Nigeria and just moved from the airport into our home. See cruise, it would have been so sweet. But we started doing all these things, and eventually we didn't get any house from all those platforms. It was still a friend that helped us to get a house. So that was one big mistake. Please don't make that mistake. Do not go to Rent Faster. Go to Facebook Marketplace. It is better and easier there. Facebook Marketplace, you'll be able to go down and see the individual gongon that put up their house for rent. If it's in Nigeria, Nigerians are more lenient because they know as they be now. They too were migrants a few years ago. They know that you might not have all those documents, so they might be lenient. But all those white people that hand over their homes to agencies to go and get people, they do not want to be the reason whereby after they were paid their agency fee, they're not going to get a tenant that cannot pay rent. So they don't even listen to newcomers at all. We went through a lot. Please, if you're coming newly and you want to get a house before you land, go to Facebook Marketplace. Look for the name. When you see the house you want in the province or whatever, go down. You see Olatunji Adebayo. You can communicate with the person directly and say, bro, here's the bill. I can pay my rent. I can do this, but I don't have all those things. The person would understand with you. That is a better solution. Or if you have family or friend back here that can help you get a place before you land, please do that. Second, regrets. Oh God, terrible regrets. Please do not rent a house with your landlord. I'm being very open to you. When we were renting our place, of course, we didn't have the luxury of choice. We had already gone to 3 different places under 2 weeks. We needed a house. The children needed to start school. So we didn't have the luxury of a choice. So when this house came, it saw these duplexes that are divided into 2. The landlord is on one side, then a tenant. That was a mistake. It was an Indian landlord. Well, there's so many things I wouldn't want to say now. Maybe later in the journey, maybe I'll be more comfortable to discuss it. But it wasn't a good experience. To the best that you can, if you're coming in newly, please rent. Yes, you'll be a decent tenant though, but there is a limit to the kind of peace and freedom you would have when you are staying inside. I don't know whether it was an individual thing. I don't know whether it was just a landlord thing. Of course, I do not know what it was, but please do not rent the same house with your landlord. Period. Those are my 2 regrets so far. On my pains, of course, no pain, no gain, right? Coming to a new place, a new country, new life, new environment, new everything. There are bound to be pains. There are bound to be challenges. I think for me, my major pain or challenge was doing everything myself. When I say myself, I do not mean like only me. Of course, my husband and children are the very best. But when I say myself, I mean that external assistance of, oh yeah, this person go and make a bath, bath the children, wash this plate, you know, while you do other things. You cannot do any other thing. That other thing you're doing, when you finish, you go and do the other one. Oh my God. Living in a very spacious house that is an all-white house with little children, clean. I had a little baby, 7 months when we came in, tugging at me, very clingy baby, pulling me. You know, I have to do that, cook, work, go to school. It was a lot and it really puts a lot of stress on me. In fact, at the point, it was as though my health was in jeopardy, as if my health was under threat. But thank God I had to make some amends and I began to see my health come back. In fact, I told myself that if I didn't get high blood pressure this first 1 year of staying in Canada, it go hard for me to get high blood pressure. Then another thing was working for myself for the first time. This is the first time that I am self-employed. I've always been employed under somebody, right from my NYC days to the legal practice job I got, to the first bank I worked in, the second bank I worked in, to the multinational I resigned from. I've always been an employee. I've never been completely self-employed. So coming to Canada was the first time that I was completely self-employed, and I would say I almost didn't know how to be self-employed. When I was working for people or for organizations, there were break times, right? there were vacations, right? There were end of business, close of day, right? Where you go home and rest, right? But working for myself, I didn't draw the line. It was work, no, non-stop, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., working. And one thing with working and seeing the growth is that you just keep tasking yourself more. Oh my God, I did this month, I can do this. I made this $1,000 this month, I can make this. I released 20 videos this month, I can do 25. So I just kept on pushing myself, and I'm this kind of person that I push myself. I'm very critical of my work. I'm very critical of myself. I push myself a lot, and I kept on pushing until it began to tell. Like, I was overwhelmed. The school thing going on, the handling the 2 YouTube channels, the 4 children, taking care of my husband, the house chores, everything was a lot, and it began to tell on me. It began to weigh on me so badly. But I now, began to make conscious decisions to put things in check, and to God be the glory, I am in a lot better place now than I was like some 5, 6, 7 months ago. I've now learned how to draw the line. At a particular time, I'll tell myself, oh yeah, close the laptop, you have tried for today. I still see myself overdoing it, but I have to consciously pull myself back and say, Neze, it's okay for today. So that was an initial struggle, but I have learned to balance this out now. My best decision so far. Best decision so far. I think my primary best decision so far is the act of coming. Coming was a very good decision for me. It's a decision that I will not regret. I'm not even one that regrets easily. I own my and I see things positively. I see things in a positive light. My makeup nature is naturally geared towards the positive side of things. The positive, how do I see value? How do I see blessing in this thing? In this coming, by the grace of God, is one of the best decisions that I have made. Giving my children this experience, this life, this opportunity. Nigeria is our country, so forever remain our country. If you blow whistle now and say everybody go back to where you're coming from, I have where I'm going to. I will go back to my country. I no fall from up. You understand? But that opportunity of another paper, another citizenship, another avenue, another chance, another future for my children, where they can now grow up and choose and say, okay, do I want to stay in Nigeria or I want to stay here? That opportunity that our parents were so consumed in Nigeria will be better, and they didn't give us no regrets, no pains. That's how God wanted it. I'm happy that I was born and bred in Nigeria. Very happy, very fulfilled, very accomplished. But let us give our children different and see whether they would even turn out to be better than us, inshallah. So coming is a very big blessing. It's one that I will never regret, inshallah. And my next best decision, if I tell you this one, people call me a bad mother. Call me bad mother. That who they alive, they mother. But second best decision is putting my baby in daycare. Yes. Putting Chinayenwa in daycare is one of the best decisions I've made, because literally, if I didn't put Chinayenwa in daycare and I had continued what I was doing 6 months ago, I would have died. I don't think I would have survived it. Hey, now me know waiting my eye see. Now me know waiting my eye see. Where I'll be cooking, carrying baby, cleaning, carrying baby, editing, carrying baby, bathing. She'll stand by the bathtub waiting for me. Going to toilet, she's on my lap. I cannot even sleep in. Neye cannot sleep. This girl will be awake throughout the night just to touch me, put her hand in my clothes. I can't sleep. So taking baby to daycare helped me and helped her. Now she's a lot mature. She can eat better now. In fact, I might do an update on the daycare, whatever the progress. But it has really, really given me life and given me health. If I had continued this YouTube, schooling, then taking care of a clingy baby, cleaning, doing all these things, by now, it would have been a call to glory something. So I am very happy with that decision I made, taking my baby to daycare. It has made her more mature. It has given her a lot of independence. She's still clingy, mommy, but it's not as bad as it was when we just came. So I think that's a very good decision I've made since I came to Canada. So far, what's the journey like so far? I would say so far, so good. when I tell people that I do not miss anything at home, for now, I might miss in the next 3 years, or I might miss in the next 5 years, I might miss in the next 10 years. Feelings change, right? I am giving a 1 year update, and I will not be giving you in anticipation of what will happen in 5 years. This is the update as I stand right here and right now. I really do not miss anything about Nigeria. All my Niger food, I make them here, from my semo, my soup, pepper soup, udara, agbalumo. The other day I went to our African store, I bought enough udara, one licked them well. My suya, my amala, and they will do everything I was eating in Nigeria. By the grace of God, I'm still able to get them here and enjoy them. So I'm not really missing anything. I wasn't really like a party wedding one day person and say, okay, I'm missing groove. I've never been that groovy person. I stay at home a lot. The only thing I can say I miss about back home is my family, like my mother-in-law, my brothers and stuff like that. The people, my people. I don't miss. So for now, I am very happy we have integrated well. We are still integrating. We're still in the process, still integrating well. The kids, those ones, they move on so fast. They have acclimatized real good, meet friends in school. They're going to the next class. If we're in Nigeria now, my first one would have been entering secondary school. But here now, they step down the kids a little. So my kids will be entering the next grade come September. Everybody is doing just fine. And we are thankful to God for everything. So far, so good. I'm going to be revealing some videos to mark my 1 year anniversary. No, by the way, after 1 year, there's some things I've learned, there's some things I'm aware of, there's some things I can, tell or teach those coming after me. So in the next couple of videos or so, I'm going to be releasing some very vital videos that everyone will be able to watch, enjoy, and learn from. So stay glued. So guys, this is it so far. Praying for more of God's blessings, more open doors, more settling in real good. By the grace of God, everything will be fine. And this journey to leave our home country to come to Canada will never ever be a regret, in Jesus' name, amen. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up. Drop all your comments down in the comment section. Let me know how it is for you. How are you holding up? If you're a new immigrant, if you're an old immigrant, tell us your journey, tell us your story, tell us your experience.